Hi friends, let's listen to Shatranj Ke Khiladi from the timeless collection of Munshi Premchand. So without any further delay, let's begin with the story. It was a time of Wajid Ali Shah. Lucknow was drowned in the color of sensuality and luxury. The elders and the youngsters, the rich and the poor, all were occupied in the rave of the moment. While some were busy enjoying the gatherings filled with dance and music, others were happy being drowned in the puffs of opium. Love for pleasure dominated every aspect of life, be it in the field of administration, literature, social system, art and craft, business arrangements, industries, cuisine and custom. Everywhere sensuality ruled the game. The officials of the state were absorbed in fun and pleasure. The poets had drowned themselves in the mysticism of love and separation. The artisans were busy creating the zari and chicken works, and the businessmen were engrossed in perfumes and cosmetic dealings. The sensual pleasure reflected in everyone's eye. Nobody was aware of the happenings of the world. At some place, the quails were fighting, rings were being prepared for the fights of the partridges. At other places, the game of Chaucer was going on. The attendants were shouting on the winning throw. The battle of chess had been pitched elsewhere. From the king to the pauper, everyone was engrossed in these pleasures. Even the fakirs did not eat rotis with the money they got as alms and instead spent it on opium or its extract. It has been established that playing chess and Gajifa sharpens the mind, develops mental abilities, and helps solve complex problems. Thus, if Mirza Sajjad Ali and Mir Roshan Ali spent most of their time in the development of their mental faculties, then there isn't any way problem. Both of them had ancestral properties and hence there were no worries of sustenance. Both of them sat idle at home and enjoyed the pleasures of the world. What else could they do? After having their breakfast every morning, both the friends would spread the chessboard, set up the pieces, and engage themselves in the warfare of chess. They would get so engrossed in this game that they would not even realize the time. From inside the house, someone would call, "The food is ready," and the answer would be, "We are coming, spread the mat." Both of them would not move, and the cook would end up serving the food in the room itself, letting the friends enjoy the food while continuing the game. Since there was no elderly person in Mirza Sajjad Ali's house, the game was played in his house. Not only the members of his family but also the neighbors and servants passed critical comments. This is a very ominous game that ruins the family. God forbid if someone gets addicted to it, he would be in ruins. A person engrossed in it becomes unfit to do anything. It is a very bad disease. Mirza's wife hated the game to such an extent that she even tried to find occasions to revile her husband. But she hardly got any opportunity. She would keep thinking about doing something, but in the meanwhile, the chessboard would be set up for the game, and Mirza would come late at night, long after she had slept. She expressed her anger by scolding the servants. "Are they asking for betel leaves? Tell them to come here and get it themselves. They don't even have time to eat food. Go and throw it at their heads. Let them eat it on their own and throw it to the dogs." But she could not say anything on his face. She had more complaints with her husband's friend, Mir Sahib. She had even named him Mir, the brat. Perhaps Mirza used to put all the blame on Mir Sahib to have his own skin. One day Begum Sahiba was suffering from a bad headache. She said to her maid, "Go and call Mirza Sahib. He must bring some medicine from the Hakim. Run, be quick." When the maid went and told this to Mirza Sahib, he said, "You go, I will just come." The Begum was already hot tempered. Hearing this, she lost her patience. She turned red and said to the maid, "Go and tell him that he should not come at once and take me to the Hakim. Otherwise, I will go on my own." Mirza was playing a very interesting game. He would checkmate Mir Sahib in next two moves. He said irritatingly, "Is she on her deathbed that she cannot wait for a moment?" Mir said, "You should go and talk to her. Women are delicate beings." Mirza replied, "Oh yes, I should go because it will be checkmate in just 2 moves. Mir explained, please don't be in such illusion. I have thought of a move that will turn the tables and defeat you. But you must go and see her. What is the cause of hurting? Mirza said, I will go only after defeating you. Mir replied, then I won't play at all unless you go and listen to her. Mirza said, I will have to go to the Hakim. She is not suffering from any headache. It is just a way of troubling me. Mir said, so be it, but you need to look after her. Mirza said, okay, let me play just one more move. Mir promised, no, not at all, until you go and listen to her. I won't even touch the pieces. Mirza Sahib was left with no other option but to go to her. He went inside. Begum Sahiba changed her tactics and groaning in pain said, you love this wretched game so much that even if a person is dying, you will not leave the game? What kind of a man are you? Mirza said. What can I do? Mir Sahib would not let me go. Begum replied, does he think that everyone is as idle as him? Is there anyone left in his family or has he finished them off? Mirza said, he is an addicted person. When he comes, I am forced to play the game. Begum said, why don't you drive him away? Mirza replied, he is as old as me and superior in rank. I have to oblige him. Begum warned him, then I will drive him away myself. If he gets angry, let him be. He is not feeding us. Hurry, go and pick up the chessboard and tell Mir Sahib that Mirza Sahib won't play anymore, so he must go home. Mirza pleaded, oh please, don't do such a thing. Do you want to humiliate me? Stop, Hurry, where are you going? Begum said, why don't you let her go? Okay, you have stopped her. Let me see. How can you stop me? And saying this, the Begum Sahiba angrily went towards the guest room. The color drained from Mirza's face. He pleaded his wife, for God's sake, I bind you in the name of Hazrat Hussain. The one who goes there shall see me dead. But the Begum was in no mood to listen. She went to the guest room, but she could not muster the courage to face a strange man. When she peered inside, she saw the room empty. Mir Sahib had displaced the pieces and was strolling outside. Begum Sahiba came inside and overturned the chessboard. She threw some pieces on the floor. Some fell outside and then she closed the door. Mir Sahib was outside the house when he saw the pieces were thrown and heard the sound of the bangles. Saw the door getting closed. He understood that the Begum was inflamed with anger. So he went to his home. Mirza said, what have you done? Begum warned him, if Mir Sahib came here again, then I will get him thrown out at once. If you had put such dedication in the worship of God, you must have achieved salvation. You are busy playing chess while I remain occupied in the household works. Now tell me, do you still have any objection going to the Hakim? Mirza left the house, but instead of going to the Hakim, he went to Mir Sahib's house and told him the story. Mir Sahib said, when I saw the chess pieces being thrown away, I understood everything and ran to my home. She is quite short-tempered. But you have pampered her so much, that's not right. It is none of her concern about what you do outside the home. She is only responsible for a matter related to the household and has no right in any other matter. Mirza said, never mind, but where shall we play now? Mir replied, why are you worrying? This is a big house. We can play anywhere here. Mirza said, but how will I make the Begum agree to this solution? When I remain at my house, she gets so angry. If I play here, then she will definitely kill me. Mir said, oh, let us shout. She will get used to it in few days. But from now onwards, you must deal with her in a tough manner. For some unknown reason, Mir Sahib's wife considered it better if Mir Sahib remained away from the house. That is why she never criticized his love for the game, and sometimes when Mir Sahib would get late, she would remind him and make him go to the play again. Mir Sahib was always under the illusion that his wife was very courteous and sober. But when the chessboard was spread in the guest room and Mir Sahib stayed at home all day, it troubled her. Her freedom was restricted. She hardly got any chance to take a glimpse of the outside world. Mir Sahib's playing chess at home led to whispering and murmuring among the servants. Up till now, they used to ward off the flies whole day. They were never bothered by the guest, but now they had to take orders. Sometimes they would be sent to get the betel leaves, while sometimes they were ordered to bring the sweets. And the hookah would keep smouldering the whole day like the heart of a lover. They would go and complain to Begum Sahiba. Begum Sahiba, Mir Sahib's chess has become a nuisance for us. We have blisters on our feet running from here to there the whole day. Is this a game that starts in the morning and ends at night? Is it alright to play for some time but for leisure? But to spend the whole day like this is not good. Well, we do not have any complaints. We are your servants, and it is our duty to serve you no matter what. But this game is inauspicious. The one who plays it never prospers. A misfortune always struck their household. Everyone in the neighborhood is talking about Mir Sahib. We are his faithful servants and cannot tolerate his name being maligned. What can we do about it? On this, the Begum Sahiba would reply, even I don't like this game. But he would not listen to me. So what can be done about it? The elders of the neighborhood had begun to have many premonitions. It's no good. When the rich people of our country are so obsessed, then only God can save this country from destruction. This kingdom will be destroyed by chess. These are bad omens. There had been great disarray in the kingdom. People were being robbed in broad daylight. No one was there to listen to their complaints. All the wealth from the villages were brought to Lucknow and spent on prostitutes, buffoons, and sensual pleasures. The taxes of the English company were increasing day by day. Because of the lack of good administration, even the annual taxes could not be collected. The resident warned them repeatedly, but people were so drenched in sensuality that nobody took such warnings seriously. Many months passed and the game of chess went on in the guest room of Mir Sahib. New strategies were created and new moves were devised. Sometimes there were arguments and accusations, but soon the two friends reconciled and the game continued. Sometimes the chessboard would be overturned and an estranged Mirza would go to his home. But after a good night's sleep, all the resentment would vanish. In the morning, both friends would come again to the guest room. One day, when both were engrossed in a game of chess, an officer from the king's army came, riding on a horse, and asked for Mir Sahib. Mir Sahib was stunned. What was the problem? Why was he summoned? Nothing seems to be good now. He closed the door of the house and said to servant, "Tell him that I am not home." The horse rider asked, "Where is he if he is not at home?" The servant replied, "I don't know." "What's the matter?" The horse rider said, "Why should I tell you? We need to notify him. Maybe we need some soldiers for the army. Being a vassal is not an easy job. When we will have to go to the battlefield, then we will see his courage." Servant replied, "You may please leave. I will deliver your message." Horse rider said, "There is no need for that. I will come tomorrow and take him along with me. I have been ordered to bring him." Then the horse rider went away. Mir Sahib was trembling with fear. He said to Mirza, "What will happen now, my friend?" Mirza said, "It's big trouble. I hope I am not summoned." Mir said, "That wretched person has said that he would come again tomorrow." Mirza replied, "This is disastrous. If we have to go to the battlefield, then we will die without any reason." Mir said, "The only solution is that we should not remain at home. Tomorrow onwards, we will play the game in a deserted place by the bank of the river Gomti. Who will know about that place? And the fellow will have to return handed." Mirza exclaimed, "Wow, that's a great idea. We have no other solution." Meanwhile, Mir Sahib's Begum was saying to the horse rider, "You gave him a good scolding." He answered, "I know how to deal with such fools. All their intellect and courage has been destroyed by chess. Now they won't dare to remain at home." From the next day, both the friends left their homes before dawn. Holding a small mat under their arms, carrying a box of chess pieces, they would go to the old mosque by the side of Gomti, which was built by Nawab Asif-ud-daula. They would buy tobacco, chillum, and wine on their way, and as soon as they reached the mosque, they would spread their mat, fill their hookahs, and start playing chess. They would grow oblivious of their surroundings and no other words would be heard except check and mate. Even an ascetic was not as focused on his meditations as these two were in chess. When they felt hungry, they would go to an eatery and have their lunch. They would return and have hookah and would again get engrossed in the game. Sometimes they would even forget to eat anything. On the other side, the political condition of the country had become deteriorated. The city was in great turmoil and the people were fleeing to the villages with their families. But our players were not at all concerned. They came through narrow lanes, afraid that the king's men might recognize them and would be caught. They wanted to enjoy the benefits of being a vassal and earn thousands of rupees annually without doing anything. One day, both the friends were sitting in the ruined mosque. Mirza's position was somewhat weak. Mir Sahib was threatening him with check and after check when they saw the company soldier towards them. The English army was coming to capture the city of Lucknow. Mir Sahib said, "By God, the English army is advancing towards us." Mirza replied, "Let them come. Check. Save your king." Mir said, "There is artillery as well, which has around 5,000 soldiers. Their faces resemble the red monkeys. One would be afraid of even looking at them." Mirza replied, "Don't make such excuses. Cheat someone else." Another check. Mirza replied, "You are a weird person. The city has been struck with a disaster and you are only bothered with your checks and realize that how will we run our homes if the city gets captured?" Mirza replied, "We will see to that when the time comes. Another check and then it will be checkmate." The army marched away. It was around 10 o'clock. Another game was set up. Mirza said, "Where shall we eat today?" Mir asked, "It's a Rosa day today. Are you feeling very hungry?" Mirza replied, No, God knows what is happening in the city." Mir said, "Nothing would be happening in the city. People would have eaten their lunch and would be sleeping peacefully, and the Nawab would be having fun in his harem." Both of them started playing again. It was 3 in the afternoon. This time Mirza's game was weak. It was 4 o'clock when they saw the army returning. Nawab Wajid Ali Shah had been caught and the army was taking him to a deserted area. There was no commotion in the city or any violence. Not even a drop of blood was shed. Till date there was no such state wherein the king was defeated in such a peaceful manner without any bloodshed. Rather, it was the heights of cowardliness. The king of Awadh was taken as a prisoner and Lucknow was drowned in sensual pleasures. This was the most pathetic condition of political downfall. Mirza said, "Nawab Sahab has been captured by the tyrants." Mir said, "Never mind that. Save your king." Mirza said, "Please wait, dear. I cannot concentrate on the game. Poor Nawab Sahab must be in so much trouble." Mir replied, "Oh yes, he won't be able to enjoy his luxuries now. Check." Mirza said, "Not all your days are spent leisurely. He is in a painful condition." Mir said, "Yes, that's right. Check again and there would be a mate in the next move. You won't be able to escape this time." Mirza replied, "By God, you are very cruel. Even after seeing such a calamity, you feel no pity for the Nawab? Oh, poor Wajid Ali Shah." Mir said, "First save your king and then mourn for the Nawab. Here, it's checkmate." The army marched away taking the king as a prisoner, and then Mirza set up another game. "The wound of defeat is bad," Mir said. "Come on, let us sing an elegy to mourn the fall of Nawab Sahab." But Mirza's loyalty towards the king had vanished with his defeat. He was eager to take the revenge for his defeat. It was evening. Bats had begun to scream in the ruins. The swallows had returned to their nest. But both the players were adamant to continue the game as if two soldiers were fighting in combat. Mirza had been defeated 3 times in a row, and even the 4th one did not seem to be on his side. Every time he decided to play carefully, but unfortunately a single bad move made him taste defeat again. With every defeat, the feeling of revenge aggravated. On the other hand, Mir Sahib was thoroughly enjoying himself and sang ghazals and teased Mirza as if he had found some hidden treasure. Mirza got irritated. But to overcome the embarrassment of his defeat, he would praise him. As his position grew weaker, he started losing his patience and got irritated at a very petty matter. You should not change your moves. What is this that you make a move and then change it? Make a move in a single go. Why do you keep holding the piece? Keep it aside. Do not touch the piece until you decide the move. You take half an hour to make one move. This is not allowed. Did you change your move again? Please put the piece back. Mir Sahib's wazir was about to be taken. He said, "When did I make the move?" Mirza said, "You have already made the move. Please keep the piece there only." Mir said, "Why should I keep it there? I had never let go of the piece." Mirza said, "If you do not let go of the piece till the judgment day, then won't it be counted as a move? When you saw that your wazir would be taken, you started cheating." Mir accused, "You are a cheater. Winning or losing is a matter of fate. No one wins by cheating." Mirza said, "Then you have been checkmated in this game." Mir asked, "Why would I be checkmated?" Mirza said, "So you keep the piece back to the place where it was." Mirza said, "Why should I put it there? I will not keep it there." Mirza said, "Why won't you keep it there? You will have to do that." The dispute was increasing. No one was ready to refrain. They started cursing and abusing each other. Mirza said, "You must have known the rules if someone in your family would have played chess. The ones who peeled grass, what knowledge would they have about chess? Nobility is on a different plane. Just by becoming a vassal, one cannot become a nobleman." Mir retorted, "What? Your ancestors must have peeled grass. We have been playing this game since generations." Mirza continued mocking, "Oh please, you have worked as a cook in the house of Ghazi-ud-Din Haider all through your life and you consider yourself a noble? It is not so easy to become a nobleman." Mir said, "Why are you blackening the names of your ancestors? They must have been cooks. We have been dining with the king since time immemorial." Mirza said, "Hey you grass cutter, don't make such tall claims." Mir warned, "Watch your words, otherwise you will be in trouble. I am not used to such insult. If someone stares at me for long, then I pluck out their eyes. Do you have any courage?" Mirza said, "Oh, so you are challenging me, Do you want to see my courage? Then come and fight with me. Let us see who is the courageous one." Mir said, "Don't be under the impression that you cannot defeat me." Both friends took out their swords. It was the era of Nawabs. People used to carry their swords and daggers with them. Both of them used to love pleasure but were not cowards. They were devoid of all political emotions of loyalty and patriotism. They did not wish to die for the king or their kingdoms, but they did not lack any courage. The fight began and swords clashed, making the sounds of metal striking against metal. Both of them were wounded and fell down and died breathing in pain. They had not shed a single drop of tear for their king, but they had laid down their lives in defense of the wazirs of chess. It was dark. The chessboard was still spread. The chess pieces were sitting on the thrones in seeming like they were lamenting the death of the two warriors. The broken arches of the ruins, the destructed walls, and the dust-laden pillars were watching these corpses and cursing their fate. So friends, this is the end of the story. Please stay tuned for the next story. Keep listening and keep supporting. Thank you.